Hello everyone, welcome to the first video on my channel. Obviously, usually we film on the NA3 channel, and we were meant to be filming tonight. However, Adam decided to drown his sorrows after that 1-1 draw with Southampton, and he's went out to Digi because he's got nothing better to do. No, it's actually someone's birthday, but seriously, we're meant to film tonight, but Adam's away doing things. He's got a life unlike us too, unfortunately. So yeah, you just stuck with us two tonight. As I say, this will be on my channel. I'll leave the link to the NE3 channel in the description if for some reason you haven't seen that before, but probably not. But yeah, without further ado, you can see today we're going to do a tier list. Oh yeah, I'm with Kieran, by the way. I assumed you just know who he was. Yeah.
I'm not that popular now.
Yeah. Well,
Everybody knows who I am.
I've got to say, usually people know me, they tend to know you, Kieran. You know, very synonymous with one another, I'd like to think. Know each other long enough. What is it now? I think it is
No, don't start talking because then it makes it look older.
Yeah, well, we've known each other now. It's about at least 18 years. It might be 19 years. We've known each
Call
other.
it 10. I want to be younger.
Yeah, you want to be young. Want to be young. Yeah, we've known each other 18 years. So you know, we're old men now. Point being, anyways, we're gonna do a tier list today. We're gonna look at the Marvel movies. Yep, quite simple, really. We're not massive fans of the Marvel movies. I'm a bit of a comic book nerd at times, and Kieran quite enjoys the Marvel movies. You know, we know some people don't like them, so it mightn't be your kind of video, but I'm sure we'll have very interesting opinions.
I think it would be quite similar in some ways, but I feel like there is going to be a big one that everybody will disagree with me on.
There's one movie I know for a fact I hate, so yeah, right. We'll start. We'll try and go as chronologically as we can. Me just going roughly what I can remember as the chronology of the MCU. We'll start off with the first film, Iron Man. Obviously, the one that started it all off. You know, Robert Downey Jr. Totally his resurgence. Before this, he was a drug addict. He couldn't get a job in Hollywood. Things weren't going good for him. And this was the one role that changed it all for him. So essentially, what we'll be doing is looking at not even that. Sorry, 2 seconds. Basically, do you like the movie? Yes or no? Where's it going on the rank?
Um, what we've got is that. It's not quite an A star, but I'd probably go A. Really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a really good way to introduce to the idea of the MCU after the Spider-Man films, particularly. I thought that role's made for Robbie Downey Jr. I feel like he is Iron Man without needing to be Iron Man. By that I mean just him within interviews. He's the same way as Tony Stark, so I think it was an inevitability that he'd play the role.
He does fit the
He's
role
really good.
perfectly. He does. It's a bit like him. I say him, Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth have changed those roles so much that now almost the comic book characters are modelled on them and not the other way around because they made it their own.
Yeah,
Like now you don't see Robert Downey Jr. being depicted as any other way than you know. No, sorry, Iron Man being depicted any other way than Robert Downey Jr. Like they're just synonymous with each other now. So yeah, I've definitely agree. It's definitely going on the A category for me if I can get it up there. Ooh, there we are. Yeah, definitely going A category for me. Yeah, simple. And do you know what? We'll go for all the Iron Man films first because I think that'll be interesting to see how that kind of progressed. So let's find this Iron Man 3. We'll just do Iron Man 3 because I can say it. Personally, this for me was the worst Iron Man film. Not a very good film.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah, can you remember what happened in it?
Is that the one with the multiple robots?
Yeah, he makes all because he goes a bit mental about dying and all this rubbish, and he makes all these robots and yeah, and it's where he meets that boy as well, isn't it? I think it's this one. Who's there? Spoilers. His funeral in Endgame. Yeah, for me it's the worst Iron Man film. Probably one of the worst films in the MCU.
Yeah, I really didn't like it.
If it wasn't for the multiple suits, I think it would literally be bottom. I think I'd go D rank because there is worse movies than this in the MCU, in my opinion.
I agree. We'll go D.
Yeah, we'll go D because yeah, there's definitely worse ones. If it'll move, come on. I'm having a millsy day with technology. And now there's
I
films.
wouldn't have got this.
Now there's films everywhere. Okay, since it's went in there, is that For the Dark World? We're talking movies that were terrible. For me, the worst, one of the worst, if not the worst, movie in the MCU, in my opinion. It is absolutely god awful. One of the most boring films I've ever watched. And Thor Ragnarok was fantastic, but this film, oh my god, it was tedious.
Is this the one? I'm really bad with names. Is this the one with the dark witch thing? Is that it? No.
The Dark Witch thing. That's the third one, Ragnarok.
Which one's this one?
Exactly, the Dark World. It's one where Loki finds out that he's not actually Odin's son. He's actually half, weird, witchy.
Oh, the blue.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. Wasn't it fun? It was boring.
It was a very bad film in my opinion.
I mean,
Atrocious.
the fact I can't even remember which one it is probably suggests how bad it is.
Yeah, it was absolutely abysmal. I think that goes without saying. I think there was that little dip after the first Avengers movie in the films that weren't so great. And For the Dark World was one of those, unfortunately. Speaking of Avengers films, we'll try and find the first Avengers film if I can. See, for me, they're tiny on the screen, so I'm struggling to see them. We'll go to the first Thor movie because there we are, nice and easy. I think it was a good film. Not, I'd say it's probably C rank, very average but good.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Thor really, so if anything, like the both would be a D for me.
I mean, I could move forward down to D, but I just think it was a decent little movie, and Chris Hemsworth did well. And obviously, I forgot her name now. Natalie Portman, quite like her in it as well. Obviously, she's going to be in the fourth movie, Fall Love and Thunder. Which I'll be interested to see that because they're introducing some new characters, and that'll be cool. But yeah, not an amazing film as well. It wasn't the best of the first batch.
I'm not so confident on it being D, so I'll let slide at C.
C, right, yo.
Yeah.
Right, we'll move on then. I think that is the first Avengers film here. Yes, I think it is. Obviously, great. I think it was a great film. It still got better than the MCU. I'll happily put it at a B or maybe an A. I'm stuck between the two.
I would go A. I really enjoyed that film.
Yeah, it did start it all, and then we started looking forward to these Avengers films more than some of the main, other kinds of films. So I definitely will put it up there.
I think Nick Fury is really important in that film.
Well, obviously it's interesting as well because in the comics Nick Fury's white. Yeah, and you wouldn't. And honestly, if you didn't read the comics, you wouldn't know Nick Fury was white because Samuel L. Jackson plays him so well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. Samuel L. Jackson plays amazing in the comics. Nick Fury's a white man. So yeah, that just says a lot about that character, and obviously he was really important in the Avenger films. Great actor, Samuel L. Jackson. I think because that will go on to the second one, Age of Ultron. Now I don't think it was as good as the first one.
I disagree. I think it was better than the first one.
Trying to think. Oh no, I'm getting them mixed up. Yeah, because that's the first one's Chitauri, second one's obviously Ultron, and that's when this Vision comes into it, and it did start getting better. But then for me, I would put this A, and I'd put the first Avengers movie B if that was the case. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. It's not quite an A star, but I agree. I think it is better than the first one. I really enjoyed that one.
So in that case, I've moved the first one down to B. Yeah, I did like the second one. It was quite interesting. The Avengers films were some of the best films in my opinion. I think there's only one Avengers film, and we'll get on to it in a second. Some people did. Do you know what we're going to now? Infinity War and Endgame. A lot of people really didn't like one of the two. I think it's Endgame. A lot of people didn't like. You didn't like Endgame, did you?
No, it's not a popular decision from what I've spoke to. People I've spoke to, but I really didn't find Endgame that entertaining. I thought it was boring. I thought the whole idea of time travel is ridiculous. I know that they are superheroes, but all it does is allow future films to introduce lots of different characters and reintroduce potentially characters that have died. And I think that's just getting a bit too far-fetched at that point.
I've got to say though, there was moments in that film which just I don't care how bad it was. To some people, it was amazing. They get obviously the I Am Iron Man and the Avengers Assemble. Those moments for me, I just remember them so well, and that's why I think it was a great film. Because what it was fan service. A lot of the fans had wanted these moments for years, and they'd been 20 years of build up nearly. And after all that build up to get all of it in one movie, not 20 years, probably more. That's not probably 15 years of build up. Yeah, and you got that moment that we've been waiting for so long. That for me was why it was a good movie. I wouldn't put it as an A star. But I'd put it higher than the first one in my opinion. But you don't agree, do you?
No, to me, it's a C at best. I really didn't enjoy it.
Well, I
I was
really
so
well,
disappointed.
right. Okay, so I say what we do then is if I say A, you say C, it has to end up being B. Kind of averages
Okay.
here. So I think where is it? Endgame. It's there. I think it's ended up with C there. I'll give it a second to load. But yeah, well, let's wait for that to load. Infinity War then. Before that, Infinity War better or worse than Endgame?
I think it was equally as average. It was alright. It reintroduced the idea of the feud between Tony Stark and Captain America, but I think all it did was it was a setup for the final movie, and it had the final movie being better, I would argue that so Infinity War would later have been seen as better, because
Yeah,
in
it was
in my
needed.
opinion, Endgame was poor. It meant that Infinity War was poor.
I see what you mean. I put them on par. I do put them on par. They're both decent movies with good moments, but overall, apart from those good moments, I can't remember a lot about the film. Whilst some of these other films I could probably quote word for word because it was just good all around. Um, yeah, very much so. I think the thing about Marvel movies for me is that they're always fun to watch, but you don't necessarily remember every part of them. Um,
Yeah,
so I think then what to go see and rank will go B because I think again it's better than you think, but at the same time you're going to go C. So I think that ends up being a B as well. Right. Now we'll move on to a franchise which I quite like. I'm looking for the third movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now for me this is one of the best ones in the franchise because I like these kinds of movies. I like Chris Pratt as Star Lord, Dave Bautista as Drax, Bradley Cooper is Rocket Raccoon. Yeah. Um, Gamora. I just love it. I love it completely. Um, yeah, great movie. I think the first is better than the second. The second's good. I like Ego, but in the comics, Ego is literally a planet with a face. Um, I'm not that and he's a celestial, which then brings one to the new movie they're bringing out. Um, what is it? It's got Kit Harington in it and someone else in it as well. Oh
I
God,
know the Eternals is coming out.
Eternals.
That's
That's
pretty
it.
good.
Eternals. Yeah, you got it there. Kit Harington's playing Black Knight in Eternals. I'm looking for Eternals, and Eagle was the first introduction of a Celestial in the MCU, really properly. But for me, Guardians of the Galaxy is an A or an A star. I've really rated Guardians of the Galaxy, one of my favourite films in the franchise.
I'll give you A. I'm not keen on Chris Pratt particularly, but I enjoyed the film, so I'll go A.
Yeah, we'll go away then. Uh, Only question I have is the second better or worse? I think it's worse, but it's still a good movie.
I think it's worse. It was odd that it was his dad and it wasn't.
Yeah, it was not as good as the first one, in my opinion. I'm looking for the third one because I think I've a lot of hope for it. Because four's meant to be in it, I think. So that
Yeah,
weekend.
it would make sense the way Endgame ended when
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
part of the
Well, it was
crew.
funny. I think he was funny. Like generally, I like the dynamic between him and Chris Pratt. I think it was quite funny to watch. So, and that's what I like about Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, there's loads of action, but it's funny. That's why I also like going on Ant-Man. Similar to me, one of my favorite ones because it's not too doesn't take itself too seriously. It has you laughing, but also enjoying the action. I think it's better than the second Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man. Really good film. I'd put it B or A.
I really enjoyed Ant-Man. I've watched
Yeah,
it multiple times. I go A.
yeah. I'm gonna say I do like it more than all the films in B rank. So I definitely got I think the ones I rewatch. I've not rewatched Endgame yet. No, not rewatched Infinity War. I've not rewatched the second Guardians, but I've rewatched all those. Like all the ones in A rank and A star are ones that you want to watch over and over again. For me, they're the ones that you're literally non-stop gonna watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like Ant-Man. I like the dynamic with him and the other criminals, if you want. When
yeah.
when
They're
he
all funny.
initially tries to
They're
steal
all
the city.
funny. Yeah, I like the humor. There's a third Ant-Man movie coming out, isn't there? Pretty sure. Um,
I'm not sure.
I think it's in the next phase. Again looking forward to that. We'll go on to the Captain America movies then. For me, the Captain America movies got slightly worse as they went on. Um, well, I think the first Captain America movie, I love it. That's one of the ones I rewatch all the time. I think that was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. Chris Evans as Captain America, fantastic. I love Peggy Carter as well. I love the Captain America movies. Apart from Winter Soldier's not as good as Civil War. or the first one. But the first one for me, that is in that A rank. It was so good, and I've watched it like 3 or 4 times just recently. I really like Captain America. Just talking about the first one here. What do you think about the first Captain America movie?
The first one's my favourite. So
Yeah.
I would put it in A star.
Do you know what? I'm gonna agree 'cause I really like
The
it as
one,
well.
it's slightly. I don't know if it's because it shows you if the Avengers from a more hu- humanitarian
Yeah.
aspect, in that he's everything that a good human should be, rather than just being naturally strong.
Yeah, and like Tony Stark's got the ego.
Yeah,
Well, it's showing like why he can hold Mjolnir. That's what I'm saying. You see that first movie, you see Steve Rogers. He's a good human being, but he's got so much to learn about being a soldier before he can hold Mjolnir. Because he's so a good soldier is honourable, and while Steve Rogers is a good person, he's not a good soldier to begin with. He becomes a great soldier, like the best soldier in the universe, by like his hardships and what he experiences, and that's why he becomes honourable enough to obviously wield Mjolnir, which is a big moment obviously in Endgame, and that's why I loved that part in Endgame because of that movie. So yeah, definitely. I think it's over here, so we'll quickly get the second one out of the way. Winter Soldier. I think that's the same rank as the first Thor movie. It was a very meh movie. Like you watched it and you don't really remember what happened, but at the same time, it was not terrible.
compared to compared to the first Captain America movie, it was a big letdown. I enjoyed parts of it, but I think the third Captain America is equally as good as the first one, in
Well,
my opinion.
for me, it's the big reveal, like Spider-Man coming into it. That was amazing. Civil War. Obviously, any fans of comic books will know massive the comic books. Like the big Civil War storyline. And obviously the whole thing of Iron Man and Captain America is that the two sides of the same coin. Iron Man's one way about things, Captain America's the other, but they both lead the Avengers. It's a great bit of story told really well on this big screen. I loved Spider-Man being introduced.
I agree. But as far as the Winter Soldiers, I wasn't a massive fan of that
Yeah,
movie.
I think I'll go C rank with 4. If it'll move. Anyways, yeah, I think C rank with 4, and I think Civil War. You're going B or A. I think it's only slightly not as good as the first one. But again, I'd argue that it's still just as good as some of those movies. It's better than those movies in B. So I think in that case, I've moved the first movie up into A star, and then move Civil War into A.
That's what I would put. So I agree.
Yep, got that there. Still waiting for the Captain America movie to complete. There we are. If I can get it up there. Great movie. Great movie. Yeah. So let's have a look what we've got left here. We've all got. Do you know what? Actually, technically, the first MCU movie, if you watch the end credit scene, the Hulk movie. It was obviously. I don't know if you know, Kieran, but at the end of the credits, before the first Iron Man movie even came out, Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, comes up to Bruce Banner, who I think was played by not Mark Ruffalo. Who was it before him? I forget his name. The other actor. And basically he comes to him and says to him, join the Avengers at the end of the Hulk movie, so technically his first MCU movie. And it was a good movie, but nowhere near the proper MCU movies in my opinion. Obviously the Abomination fight was pretty cool. Do you remember this movie? Do you remember it? Or
I can't remember if I've actually seen the Hulk movie. I know that's a criminal.
There's two Hulk movies. There's one really early 2000s with Jennifer Connelly in, and then there's this one, which is near just before the Iron Man movie, and it's like Abomination, the other big massive Hulk and monster, they're fighting each other.
Yeah. I think I would remember if I've seen that.
Yeah, I think since I'm going to go my own opinion, I think I'm going to have to go C rank purely because not as good as most MCU movies. However, I think if it'd been made more recently, it could easily be a B rank movie in terms of how good it is. Yeah, right. Now we'll go to my probably two least favourite movies. Black Panther, I hated this movie. I'm very honest with you, I hated it. I thought it was very boring. I don't know how it won the awards it won. I don't know why I hated it so much. I just disliked it. I like the Black Panther character. I love the lore and everything. Because I don't know if you know, but in the comics he gets married to Storm from the X-Men.
Yeah.
And there's loads of interesting stories like that. Like they got the White Wolf, who's like a white boy that T'Challa adopts because he ends up landing in I forgot what it's called now. Wakanda. Okay, and then he adopts him and he wears like a white Black Panther suit and it's really cool. And I just don't think they did good enough. I think Chadwick Boseman was a good Black Panther. I'm not arguing with his performance as Black Panther. Just the movie itself was quite boring. Um, I don't think it was as bad as Thor: Dark World, but I do think it was worse than like the first Thor movie and Captain America: Winter Soldier. I think it's a D rank, same as Iron Man 3.
I agree because I think in Civil War, the introduction of Black Panther, I was really excited to see the film, but I was massively, massively disappointed. I just thought it was so boring.
No, I agree. Like when he came to Civil War, he was so cool. Do you know what I mean? He's always been a cool character in the comics, always. And then he just comes into his own movie and he's 10 times more boring. And whilst in Civil War, he was so exciting. That big fight with him and Captain America. Uh, outside. What's it called? The German guy, the super soldier. Zemo. That fight whilst he's in that building. Oh, that's great scene. And then the big fight with obviously Iron Man and Captain America as well. Like that's really really cool. But yeah, and then my next probably least favourite film, other than Thor: Dark World, because I've just in a category of its own in terms of how bad it is, would be Captain Marvel. Didn't enjoy that film either.
Yeah, another one. I mean, I'm surprised that it being so close to Endgame, it was as boring as it was. Like, I thought it would be a lot more of a not a lead up because I suppose Infinity War was, but like it would have hyped the film up more. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I don't mean it would have brought more attention to Infinity War. Like it would have got you hyped to see this character. Whilst the character's cool, I don't think Brie Larson was amazing. I don't think the story was amazing, and it didn't get you as hyped for Infinity War as it should have.
Yeah.
I would say I'm stuck between C or D because I feel like it was probably better than Black Panther, but it still sucked.
Well, maybe put it in D, but put it ahead of
Yeah, like Black
Black
Panther.
Panther.
Yeah, I can see because I think it does come in there. Yeah, right. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Uh, we'll go for. Do you not go for the first Spider-Man movie?
I really like Tom Holland as Spider Man.
No,
I think he's
I
the
do
the
as well.
most natural one to play him. Um,
For me, I think Spider-Man: Homecoming goes in the A rank. Personally, it's one of the best movies, and I do think the good thing about that movie is Spider-Man's always been a character for kids. He just has like I remember being a kid, and loving Spider-Man. So what they've done perfect those movies, what they've done is it's not as dark as the rest of the Marvel movies, but it's still as enjoyable as the rest of the Marvel movies. So like it appeals to everyone. Like you can watch it as an adult and enjoy it, and the kids can still watch it and enjoy it. I think that's what I did really well with that movie.
I would. I'm not as keen on the movie itself. I would probably go B. Um, I really, like I say, I really enjoy Tom Holland, and I think I want it to be higher because of how much I rate him. But I just thought the bad guy just wasn't that
The
interesting.
Vulture.
Even like the fight scene on the boat, like I
Well,
thought it was
see, the
lackluster.
thing for me though is the issue I've got is that this has to be an A for me because the second one was a decent movie, but it was just not as good as the first one.
So yeah, I would have said it was the other way around.
Right. And how about we agree to disagree? Put them both in B.
Okay.
We'll go both of them in B. But yeah, I'm looking for. We've got to say, we'll put a quick note on this. I'm so looking forward to the third movie. Like, I'm so excited. I think anyone who loves Spider-Man as a kid has got to be excited for these movies, like this final movie.
I swear to God, if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield aren't in this movie, I'm gonna be so angry.
I agree. I am going to be raging. I'm going to be absolutely furious because we've been waiting so long for this movie and they've promised it. They've not promised it officially, but they've kind of been hitting towards it so long that if we don't get it, I will be angry. Right, okay. We'll move on to the next one. The Iron Man 2 movie, because we kind of left this one in the dust a little bit. I think it's a C rank movie. It was an okay movie. It was cool to see, Iron Patriot come in. Don Cheadle as Iron Patriot. Obviously, they changed the actors between the movies, and that was cool. But still, it was a very average movie for me. I think the Iron Man movies actually were some of the worst. Iron Man and 4 were some of the worst movies, but the best characters, weirdly. Like, in the main movies were amazing, but their own movies weren't so great.
Do you not think that's also because they were the first full trilogy to come out
Yeah,
in the MCU?
yeah, so they learned so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, I'd definitely stick at C, on par with all those, the first 4 movie and, those other 2. Definitely, that's where I'd stick it.
I would agree, yeah.
Here's one that people argue about. I really enjoyed it. The Doctor Strange movie. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it was an amazing movie, but I did enjoy it. I don't know where I'd put that.
I enjoyed it, but I thought the start of it was really rushed. How the crash
Happened so quickly. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a build-up of a story to get to know him more than anything. So, for that reason, I go C.
Do you know what? I was going to go B, but looking at the other movies there, I do agree with you. Because it was good in places, but it was rushed too much in the beginning. Definitely going to put it there in C. So, right, next one, Thor Ragnarok, is one of my favourite MCU movies. It's up there with Guardians of the Galaxy for me, because it's got all the elements I love, like Korg. Taika Waititi is a great director, and he did a great job on this movie. Fantastic job. I love him. I love his direction. I love everything he does. I love Korg. Made of rocks. He's just, I love everything about that movie, and it was one of the best movies for a character that deserved it. Thor needed this, so they made him a bit darker, a bit grungier, but at the same time more funny and more relatable. Like, they kept that. What made him funny in the Avengers movies was like the things he said all the time. Like that line, "It's my friend from work." I just love it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is really funny.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It's funny when he eventually sees the Hulk that he's going to be fighting against it. And
to be fair, I might even put this in a star. Genuinely, it's one of the best films.
I'll go for it. I really enjoyed that film.
Yeah, it's one of those films that I'm happy to rewatch.
The kid made from rocks was really funny.
Yeah, Korg. Yeah, right. 2 movies as well. Do you know what? I feel like they're going to go in the same rank for me. C rank. I think these end up in C rank for me. Both these films, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum, whatever, Madness, whatever it was called, and WandaVision. Have you watched WandaVision, Kieran?
I haven't seen WandaVision yet. I'm busy watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
We see WandaVision is really important for the multiverse and the Spider-Man stuff, because she's going to be in the new Doctor Strange movie as well, Multiverse of Madness. And to be fair, the first couple episodes of this were terrible, really, really boring. But as it went on, it got really exciting, and really, like, when they brought in Evan Peters as Quicksilver, you're getting excited. So it made up for the boringness of the first episodes. So therefore, kind of overall, it did average out at about an average TV series of C. Now, I've watched most of Falcon Winter Soldier. I've not finished it yet. That was great. Loki looks like amazing. I need to watch those 2. I've not had time to watch them, but I'd assume they'd be A or Bs, and therefore WandaVision for me has got to be a C, definitely. Yeah, I'll get that one out of the way. And then finally, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, or whatever it's called. I think, again, a C, because it wasn't as good as the first Ant-Man movie, which was really good. It wasn't as funny as the first Ant-Man movie for me. Yeah. Or maybe a B, I don't know, because when I think about it, there was some funny moments in it still, it just wasn't as good.
I thought it was quite predictable. Like, it was inevitable that they would find the mom. It was inevitable as well that even if she was angry the main way through the film, she was always going to be going towards Ant-Man in the end.
Yeah,
and I thought
it was predictable.
The script was quite predictable, yeah. So I'd probably go B, because I enjoyed it, but I don't know if it was quite as bad as some of the ones we've gotten to see.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like C. It's got a little bit more of an edge on C. I think the Ant-Man character is really exciting and really, good to look at. Right, so there we are. There we have our tier list. There's definitely gonna be some disagreement, because I think a lot of people like the Black Panther movie, and we just don't for some reason. Maybe because in some senses it wasn't made for us. You could argue that's why. But yep, there we've got the list. I'm surprised what I've ended up in top rank, but it's just your enjoyment of the movie. Like those two movies, when I think about which ones I'm going to rewatch, I pick those two because I enjoy them the most. Yeah, by far they're the ones I enjoyed the most to watch. Yep, that's. I think that's it. First tier list done. Hopefully we'll do some more and let me know what you want me to do. We'll try and do some food, something that Kim can eat. Hopefully,
Crisps, lad. We could do crisps.
crisps. Oh, we'll do crisps then. We'll do crisps. We might be able to get Adam in on that one. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But that should be on the Any Free channel.
Crisps connoisseur.
Yeah, crisp connoisseur Adam Pearson. And hopefully he should be in on that. Yeah, we'll also put the description to Any Free channel there. And we'll see ya. And if you've made it to the end somehow, you might as well subscribe. That's all from me. I'll see you in a bit.